Hey King Dragon King 551, and today we're going to do a different type of video. This is about a video about a relationship that I have always wanted to happen in a show that is probably one of my biggest shows that I watched in the last couple of years. I watched it when I was young, I watched it when I was old. Let me just talk about the first couple of things before I get into the main reason of behind this ship. So first things first, I watched it when I was 15, and now I watched it again when 7 years later when I was 22. To sometimes when you watch it when a kid, you don't really understand it as much as you understand it now. And the show I'm talking about is One Tree Hill. But let me do a little rant. Okay, first off, I do not believe what I saw on the show was actually what someone said in real life. Now, I don't remember who it was, the writer, director, I don't know who was, the producer, whoever. One of them said that it was through their life experiences. Bullshit. There is no way. Now, school shootings are definitely a thing, but there is no way that a motherfucking brother betrayed his brother, shot him and killed him, became the mayor, did all of this mumbo jumbo bullshit. You got point shaving, you got crazy nanny bitch, you got the grandfather becoming redemption thanks to the grandson. You got the crazy grandmother smashing a wine bottle over the fucking head of the crazy nanny. You got freaking love triangles left and right, which I think are a real thing. But all of this, then you got one of the husbands getting freaking kidnapped, on Nathan getting kidnapped in the show. I don't even know if this is all real. So some of that, I'm just like, oh, I don't know if it's real. So I can never get behind this. I was like, some of this seems unrealistic. Now, moving right along. So for 5 fucking seasons, yes, I'm gonna swear a lot in this because this is how pissed off I am. For 5 fucking seasons, I was like, all right, all right. Um, let's take a quote from Star Trek. And let's take one from, those, you know, um, don't worry, I shall. I have and shall always be your friend. So for that part, we can say that Brooke and Lucas became friends even after their relationship ended. Yes, this is about Brucas, but I want to backtrack and then those um those we love never really leave us. We can always find them in our heart. Harry Potter quote, Star Trek quote. Now that I've got those two quotes out of the way, for 5 freaking seasons, I waited. I waited and waited. I was like, all right, choose Brooke, choose Brooke, choose Brooke. Oh my God. And then you choose that two-time horror bitch known as Peyton. I was like, fuck this show. Fuck this. I'm out. Fuck this shit. This two-time whore fucking stealing bitch of a girlfriend stealer, bitch of a fiance stealer. Fuck this bitch. I was pissed off at the show. I flipped two chairs in my basement. Almost flipped my couch. I fucking had a punching bag down there. I was throwing stuff. I had popcorn and stuff. I flipped the popcorn in the air. I had to vacuum it all up. I was fucking livid. So for 5 seasons, it was like you chose into season 6, you chose Peyton. Wow. The bitch. Yeah. Too much broody for me and stuff. Too much brooding. There's not enough happiness there. That relationship just looks so bad and stuff going from it. And I just can never get behind it as a fan of the relationship. I can never get behind it. So then I allowed, after I watched it a second time, um, I had my sister watch the show and she agreed with me. I had my mom and dad watch the show and they're just like, yeah, he should have ended, like they didn't even know the names, but he was like, yeah, they should she should um Lucas should have ended up with the brunette, and that is pretty much what I had to say about it. But I digress. So here are a couple of my reasons. I have this sheet right here where I have a couple of my reasons that I'm going to talk about. And then BuzzFeed has 21 reasons why, or 20 reasons. The last reason is kind of stupid, but 20 reasons why Brooke and Lucas should have ended up together. And we're going to talk about that. The first thing is that I don't really like Peyton and Lucas with either of the Scott brothers. Um, but here's a couple of other things. One, the writers stupid writers And this is the same way that Grant Gustin for the Flash with Iris. Nobody really wanted West Allen. A lot of fans were not happy with it and stuff, and the chemistry was bad. It was kind of the same thing where it was like, sorry, Laurel Lance fans and Sarah Lance fans, you're not going to get Oliver and them together because of the fact that Felicity is had better chemistry with Oliver in this series for the most part. The problem is that the comic geeks wanted that, and the chemistry just didn't work. So it's the same thing here with like Grant and stuff. He wanted West Allen, but none of us did because the chemistry didn't work. But now because the writer said that they wanted Chad and Hillary, who play Lucas and Peyton together because of the actors having great chemistry is a terrible thing. That's like saying Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe have great chemistry. Put them two together as a couple and get Hermione and Harry to end up together instead of Harry and Ginny just because of the actors. That's not how that should work. That's one thing. The other thing is that I just didn't see that chemistry. I thought that she was just kind of too sad. And the other thing is that in season 2 of the show, she was supposed to end up with Jake. And I don't really hate Jake and Peyton either, but I know that there is, there are stepmoms and stuff, but it just felt so weird to me for that concept as well. But moving right along, let's go into the quote. But in that moment, my triumph was not a state championship, but simple clarity. I was now and would always be in love with Brooke Davis. Or, in my case, I would always be in love with Brucas. Let's go into the first thing. So yeah, sorry I had to take that quote, but that's where it should have been. It shouldn't have been about Peyton Sawyer. There are a couple of things. First off, Brooke was there when he was getting his book published. Peyton wasn't around. Even in fan fiction, it's described that Brooke was the first one that came up to him when he won the state championship. Brooke was there when he wanted everything in his future. Peyton even asked him, and he said, who do you want standing next to you? And he said to Peyton that I want Brooke. And I mean, he should have chosen Brooke, but then he chose Peyton at the end, which was stupid writing. Here's one. Peyton never wanted him until he was with someone else and refused his proposal. Here's the thing. I know they were 19 and it was very Nathan and Haley like to do that, but the thing about it is that if your relationship is stagnant, which it was, you're never going to move forward. You're going to stay where you are and not move forward and not you're going to stay like in motion, basically just going through the motions and not actually doing anything. And your love is just going to stay there as boyfriend and girlfriend. You're never going to move forward as husband and wife and mother and becoming a mother and a father to your child or anything, or if you ever have a child, because of the fact that it is yes, I know you don't need to be married and all of that, and you can just be co-parents like Haley and Klaus were to Hope Michelson, but that's neither here or there. The point is that if your relationship is stagnant now, what's going to make you want to get married at the age of 22 in season 6? Like that's one, that's poor writing, and two, that's just like, okay, it's just never going to work. If you didn't want to get married at 19, and let's say you had your life figured out and you already were like really good at your job at 19 years old. If you're not going to get married then, you're not going to get married. If you're not going to get married then at 19, you're not going to get married now at 22. So what is the point and stuff? The other thing I want to talk about is Peyton stayed stagnant as a person. She didn't grow as a person. She stayed where she was. She didn't grow as a person. She, I did this video about how some characters and some people stay as like high school's their kingdom and they apologize to the nerds and geeks. Oh, I should have been more friendly to you. The problem here is that Nathan wanted to change his image and be a better person for the most part, which he did thanks to Haley and himself and stuff. And he didn't want to be like Dan. And he became a better person later in life, even when he fixed himself from getting paralyzed and stuff temporarily. Brooke didn't want to be that slutty girl, so she changed her image and became the better person. Lucas changed his image for the better as well. Haley changed her image for the better as well. Peyton stayed stagnant and was like in the kingdom and just kept her personality the way she was. She didn't change as a person and didn't grow as a person through her personality. Like my friends describe me as kind and caring and stuff. And during high school, I wanted to be this rebellious teenager, but it just doesn't work and stuff. And I didn't want to do that. And that's another reason why I didn't have a high school relationship with a girlfriend, because of the fact one, you're a hormonal teenager from 15 to 18, and you're going through puberty and metamorphosis, and it just doesn't work. And high school relationships are just messy, and ultimately, it's just like whatever. So I found myself again, and I grew as a person, and I made those changes back to who I was, a kind, caring person. And ultimately, that's where this is just like Peyton didn't change whatsoever and didn't grow as a person. She stayed where she was. And that's why I just don't like her in that aspect. So, first off, that's one thing. Peyton never wanted him until he was with someone else and refused his proposal. So she would never love him as much as he loved her. So that's one thing. The destiny shot. Let's talk about the destiny shot for Brucas. Lucas was blindfolded, and the shot went in for Brooke, meaning that there was a high possibility that they would end up together, except the writers had to be stupid. I'm going to keep referring to the writers being idiots. Idiots! Hello, stupid. Let's talk about this quote. People who were meant to be always find their way in the end. I thought that was a great quote, and I thought that was going to be another thing that was going to give like Brooke and Lucas the ultimate nail in the coffin, saying that they would be together. Now, here we go to one. I really don't want to bring this up, but come on. Peyton's not even James Lucas Scott's godmother and stuff, for one thing. She's just now the aunt through marriage. And I mean, look at it. When Luke leaves, he has such a great relationship with Jamie. It's like, okay, Peyton, you just took away a relationship there with his uncle. Now, granted, I think that most people do have a lot of their uncles and a lot of their immediate family in the same state they live in and stuff. Whether it's I'm just going to give you examples. Whether it's California, Florida, or New York or Texas or something, it's most likely that your family lives close, like 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, an hour away from where you live, and you know your godparents are around and stuff. I have my mom's side, one of her brothers is my godfather, and then on my dad's side, his sister, which is my aunt, is my godmother. So with that being said, they live close by, and I'm able to always visit them, and they're always here. They're always here for whether it's my holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or anything else. And that's kind of a thing here as well, is that Brooke and Luke are godparents to James Lucas Scott. They have a great relationship with him. Why did Luke leave Tree Hill? You know, the relationship is kind of destroyed in a way for moving away, and you know, you just don't see that relationship concept. But I mean, that's another thing that I've kind of have to put there is like Brooke comes back because she wants a family, but also she loves her godson. And you know, it would have been cool to actually be related to him now full through marriage and stuff. And we just didn't get that. And this is kind of a sad part about Brucas. And as again, I'll say the quote one more time, should have been Brooke Davis. But in that moment, my triumph was not a state championship, but simple clarity. I was now and would always be in love with Brooke Davis. So those are my main reasons for the most part. I do think that the chemistry thing was a little stupid. I don't personally agree with that. Now, let's go into BuzzFeed, because BuzzFeed has about 20 reasons here. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but I mean, I'll go through each one, but hang on, give me a second. So let's start with the first one. First, when Lucas chose Brooke over Peyton in season one, Brooke was so adorable about being his girlfriend. I don't even need to say anything. I mean, like, look at this meme. Look at this like line here. You're have a tough decision to make, and you wonder if you made the right choice. So starting right on the bat, morning, morning. I think you're good, Keith. Keith, or I'm not even gonna quote everything. When Brooke was there for not only Lucas but also Karen following Lucas's car accident. See, that's definitely a great thing to have. Look, I know that I talk a lot when I'm nervous. Actually, I'm pretty um, and then look, it's like I'm not even gonna read all of it, but so that's one thing. I mean, and then here's another one. This is three. And then when Brooke listed all the small things she loved about Lucas and hoped that was enough, I mean, laugh again, here, blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to say is that I'm crazy about your son, and I hope that's enough for you. Now, four is definitely pretty good. When Brooke's parents moved to California, Lucas literally created her bedroom and at his house so she could stay. I'd miss the girl behind the red door. Come on. Is it? Oh. See, I mean, I wasn't ready to lose you yet. Um, when Lucas told Brooke that he would never take their relationship for granted again, he tried to fight for her, but there were times. Let me just explain one other thing before I go into the other reasons. He did try to fight for her, but she pushed him away, and then everyone kept saying, "Oh, Lucas and Peyton are supposed to be together," and it's like blah blah blah. What about Peyton's stuff? I kept that stuff as a reminder how badly I screwed up things with you to remind myself if I ever got a second chance, I had never let you down. When they simply expressed how much they missed each other when they were apart. Um, when Lucas decorated Brooke's locker on the first day of senior year, and it was adorable. When they tried to be non-exclusive, but Lucas only had eyes for Brooke. That was probably one. Oh, so he only when they try to be non-exclusive, but the moment they start dating, this motherfucker has to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go kiss Peyton again because of the school shooting." If he had just stayed outside, maybe Peyton wouldn't have lived, but maybe Peyton still lives. But I mean, I kiss a guy, you kiss a girl, I kiss two guys, I kiss you twice. I mean, when Lucas told Brooke that he was the guy for her in front of every attractive and single guy in their grade, I mean, I'm the guy in your room name is you'll see. And then when Brooke wanted Lucas to continue to fight for her like he did that day, I'm not gonna read all of these picture memes, or picture quote things. You can read them at your own pace, but I'm not gonna go through all of them. You know, when Brooke pulled Allergy comedy from to all the boys and admitted that she wrote 82 love letters to Lucas. All right, I don't even know what that reference is from, but sure, whatever. That one was pretty good too. The 82 letters and stuff. Okay, when Lucas forgave Brooke for sleeping with Chris Keller, they officially got back together again. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people say that because Lucas left the show was because of Chad leaving, was maybe it was money. People say it was money reasons. People say that Hillary left because the writer was disrespectful to them. Other people say that maybe it wasn't money reasons, was because it was too hard to be in a scene with Sophia because of their relationship happened problems in real life as well. But I personally think they would have been great together, Brooke and Lucas, not the actors. But yeah, moving right along. Well, that's too bad because I forgive you. You can't. I just did. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm the guy for you, Brooke Davis, and I know I hurt you last time we were together, but I love you. I love you too, pretty girl. When Lucas brought Brooke to the river court. Okay, so this one is one of the best, I think. So she could become part of his world. He didn't bring Peyton there. He didn't bring motherfucking Peyton there. That's what I'm talking about. This is my world, Brooke, or at least it used to be. I have been here before, I know, but I just never told you what this place is to me. It's not just a court, it's where I came from. It's where I belong. It's my world. So do I get to be part of this world? The biggest part. And yet he still chose that motherfucker Peyton. Fuck that hoe. Fuck that hoe. I am tired of that bitch. I'm sorry, but what did what did Peyton whore do now? I mean, when Lucas told Brooke why he wanted to be with her and not Peyton during their iconic moment in the rain, the difference is I love you, Brooke. I wanted to be with you, not Peyton. But why? I need to know why. Because you kink your eyebrow when you're trying to be cute, because you quote Canvas even though I never actually seen you read, and because you miss your parents but you'll never ever have to admit that, and because I given exactly two of these embarrassing speeches in my entire life and they both been with you. There. I mean, that's got to mean something, right? And because we're both gonna get pneumonia, but if you need to hear why I love you, I can go on all night. Boom! There's some shakalaka to show that they belong together. When Brooke was there for Lucas after the school shooting and Keith's death, we're gonna get our hope back. Um, we're gonna get our hope back. It's just gonna take some of us longer than others, you know. When Brooke, okay, this one I don't really understand, but I think it was kind of a cute moment when Brooke thought Lucas was proposing to her and had this completely hilarious and genuine reaction because I think deep down she did want them to be together. And I think there was that night when he met with her in New York and stuff, and he thought about having a life with her. One girl and two boys, I think it was, or something. Are you proposing to me? Lucas, this is really Nathan and Haley. When all Brooke wanted was for Lucas to share his feelings with her. I love you, Brooke. I don't know how else to say it. How about how you show it? I'm not pushing you away, Lucas. I'm holding on for dear life, but I need you to need me back. And when they danced together at Nathan and Haley's wedding, that was enough of an apology. Yup, that was a good one. I mean, when Lucas continued to know Brooke better than anyone else, even after they broke up. Brooke reading Lucas' book. She was fiercely independent. Brooke Davis, brilliant and beautiful and brave. In 2 years, she had grown more than anyone I had ever known. Brooke Davis is going to change the world someday, and I'm not sure she even knows it. You're going to do great, Brooke. The world doesn't stand a chance. And he's right. I mean, that was great writing in his book, and that was a one. And when Brooke admitted to her mom that Lucas was the only boy that she would have dropped everything for. I've been calling you all night. Maybe teen marriage is all the rage in Hicksville, North Carolina. But I swear, if you marry this boy, I'm gonna have an annulment papers drawn up so fast. Mom, relax. It was just a joke. Oh, thank God. You have far too much to lose, Brooke. And Lucas Scott was the one boy I might have lost it for. See, that is a great thing. I mean, that is true love there. And this one, I don't even want to talk about this one. And finally, just to further prove that Brooke and Lucas were meant to be, Peyton even says that she wanted Jake, but once he was gone, Lucas was the next best option. See, that's what I'm talking about. As soon as Jake was gone, or Fallout Boy was gone, she went back to Lucas. It was like, bitch, you need to be happy for your best friend. Before I get into this quote and stuff and this picture, let me just explain something. Me and my friend had a similar scenario, but we didn't let the girl come between us. It was a stupid prom proposal, bullshit, nonsense, whatever you want to call it. But the point is that in that whole entire thing, I made a deal, and she said no to me. So I said, dude, you can take her. I don't really give a fuck. Let it be whatever. And it was just like him and her didn't even start dating or anything. It was just like to take her to prom, and it happened and moved on, and the bullshit happened and it was over, and everything else happened, and me and him were still tight and we're still friends. You don't let a guy come between you. You don't let a girl come between you. You still try to stay friends. But this whole entire thing with Peyton keep going back to Lucas, it was like, bitch, let you were not a true friend if you cannot be happy for your best friend. You've been around with her for so long, for so many years, with parents' deaths and stuff. Here's the other thing I want to talk about. I don't know if I ever addressed this. Brooke and Lucas had more in common with that relationship problem because their parents were never around. Peyton, you still had a dad that still loved you and stuff. It's just that he wasn't around because of his job. He still loved you. Brooke's parents didn't give two shits about her until she had money and riches and stuff. Dan did not care about his son until he saved him from that car accident and everything else. And then Lucas wanted to get to know his father. Why now, Peyton? Why would you tell me you have feelings for Lucas now when I have so much going on in my life? Stuff that you don't even know about. Well, so do I, okay? Trust me. But I didn't wish for this, all right? I wished for Jake. Oh, so you wished for Jake, bitch. Okay. All right, you wished for Jake after you wished for Pete and then Lucas. I cannot believe this is happening again. It's okay. It's not okay. It's not. It's just okay. The last time, do you hear yourself right now? The last time you tried to steal my boyfriend, I would have never like. Okay, so those are 21. Let me hit. Okay, those are 21 reasons why. I mean that everything happened. But come on, man. I mean, are you serious, Peyton? You can't move on. That's your problem. You can't grow as a person. You can't move on. Lucas moved on to Lindsay. He moved on. You couldn't. Brooke would always be Lucas's friend and stuff, even if they weren't in a good relationship. They were still a good friendship. They were still a good couple. The problem here is that for me, I always thought that Brucas was definitely the thing that was definitely there. The reason I do not think that Leighton would ever work out is that if there was a spinoff to continue, I personally think that the love of for each other with that stupid book would fall out and they would no longer be in love. Even the Comet does not even seem like a book about Peyton. It when when the Comet left, the boy lost it. When the Comet came back, the boy had direction, meaning, and passion in his life. That does not necessarily mean it is Peyton. It could be about Brooke and stuff. Brooke and Lucas became artsy. Remember, Brooke is the fashion arts person. Peyton went more towards the music side. She wasn't into that artsy designing art stuff, unlike Lucas and Brooke was. Lucas wrote books. Books are creativity and writing and stuff. And with that being said, guys, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Those were 21 reasons from BuzzFeed. Thank you, BuzzFeed, for a couple of stuff to back up my reasoning. I hope you enjoyed my reasoning for it. I do think that, let me know, guys, if there are any other couples you want me to talk about. I will be talking about ones of which ones I like better, Hizzy versus Hosey. That video will be coming out soon. That one is definitely there. I will be talking about why I personally don't think that Hosey, Hizzy, or Leighton would ever actually work out in another video explaining the main reasons behind those three relationships. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you think that I should do more about this, try to find more reasons behind Bruckus, or do you think I should talk about other ones that should have happened in couples? Let me know if there are any shows that you want me to watch and talk about couples and stuff. I just felt like not doing ship it or sink it yet because I want to do that in a different one once I explain a couple of reasons behind the certain couples that I don't want to happen and stuff. But with that being said, guys, let me know. Do you agree with my feelings about this or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts down below. That's all I got for you. So until next time, guys, don't forget to stay radical. And the next one, and as I always said in this video, I shall and always love Bruckus and Brooke Davis and Lucas Scott as a couple. There is nothing more, nothing left. It should have been Brooke Davis Scott, not anything else. Now, look, I do want to say one more thing. I do not hate Julian, okay? I don't mind Julian or whatever it's called. I don't mind Brooke and Julian, but I don't really like his character that much as I did like Lucas's character. But other than that, that's all I got for you. So until next time, guys, don't forget to stay radical. I'll see you in the next one. And as I just said, I shall always love Lucas Scott and Brooke Davis Scott and Bruckus as my couple that I wish had made it to the finish line and had made it all the way to the end of the show. One final thing I forgot to mention is that in that should have been Brooke Davis vid, I also forgot to mention that I continue till this day. As of right now, I've been reading a lot of it because since it didn't happen in the show, I've been reading a lot of fan fiction off fanfiction.net and Wattpad Bruckus fan fictions because I just can never get over the fact that I love Bruckus, and that's all I got for you guys. But that was one final thing I wanted to mention. So yeah, until next time, guys, don't forget to stay radical. I'll see you in the next one. And I shall and always love Brucas and Brooke Davis and Lucas Scott as a couple, and nothing can change that for me. But it was simple clarity, not a triumph of a state championship, but simple clarity. I was now and always would be in love of the fact of Brucas and Brooke Davis and Lucas Scott. Their relationship was just what it had to be. And that's why I continue to read off these fan fiction websites of what the relationship could have been going into a season 5 and onward if it had happened the way I wanted it to happen. Other than that, I got nothing more to say. Maybe I'll talk about how I would think that it would happen. But other than that, that's all I got for you. So until next time, guys, we're going to stay radical. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, one final thing I forgot to mention and should have been Brooke Davis video. I believe that in all these CW shows, there is an epic love, there is a first love, and there is a final love. In Vampire Diaries, the cases of Caroline is that her final love was really supposed to be Klaus, her epic love was Stefan, and her first love was Tyler. And then it was like Klaus's last love could have been Caroline, could have been Haley, could have been an epic love. I don't really know. Or his last love was really his daughter and stuff, how he loved her so much and unconditional and stuff. But the point is that Lucas's first love was Brooke Davis. Like, obviously his first love was Peyton as a crush, but like he never made any until he started dating Brooke was really where it started. So his first love was really Brooke. His epic love was Brooke Davis. His final love should have been Brooke Davis. There was no in between. When you look at Peyton as a whole, it just seems that their relationship is so grumpy. There's no light in there. And I just don't think she does well with either Scott brothers because they can't correlate with her. And she's just moody all the time. And, she's just boring to me. Like, there's no, she only has one emotion. And that's just like being sorrow and moody and broody and whatever you want to call it. And it's just like, it doesn't work for me. The other thing I also forgot to mention is, I don't know if I said it, but the nicknames was something that I wish that that is one thing to consider. Did Brooke have nicknames for Peyton? Yes. Did she have nicknames for Nathan? Did she have nicknames for Haley? Sweet, because she had great nicknames. But did Lucas have a nickname for Peyton when he dated her? Did Peyton have a nickname for him? The answer is no. There were no nicknames. The nicknames were one thing that definitely put me on the spot as a person because, first off, I just want to get this out really quickly. Pretty Girl, great nickname. Cheery, great nickname. That just meant really happy. Broody, great nickname. They had nicknames for each other. He said, my pretty girl, and it just was so annoying and so frustrating as a fan to watch the show and still not watch them end up together, even with nicknames being a thing, even with seeing that Lucas's epic love was Brooke. And in that moment, he would have been with Brooke Davis. And personally, I think the comic book was really not about Peyton. It was more about like Brooke and his friendship with her or someone else, because the comic didn't even seem like it really meant anything towards Lucas. It was just a coincidence that personally, I still think it was just a coincidence that Peyton's car was the Comet. It didn't make much sense to it and stuff. And, everything else. And it was like the boy was sad. And when the Comet left his life, when the Comet came back into his life, it had direction and meaning and stuff. And that doesn't really sound like Peyton in my book. It sounds more like Brooke and everything else, but it is what it is. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I know this is going to be a very long video of me explaining Brooke Davis and Lucas Scott, the Brucas of it all. But in another video, I probably will describe how I think their relationship would have gone throughout from season 4 to season 5, because I already know how it goes from season 1 to season 4. But I mean, in that 4.5 year, 5 year time jump and everything else, I would love to see how that relationship would have worked. But I digress. And with that being said, that's all I got for you guys. And as I said prior, I shall and always be in love with Brooke Davis, Lucas Scott, their relationship, and Brucas of it all, and everything else. And in my triumph, it was not a state championship, but simple clarity. I would and now always be in love with Brooke Davis, Lucas Scott, and Brucas. That's how I feel, and that's all I got for you guys. So I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay radical, but that's all I got. One final message for you guys of this Brucas video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, so I'm back with the video. It should have been Brooke Davis. So I wanted to add a couple of little things that I was reading in fan fiction. So let me just make this fast. Who was there when his book was published? Who was the first person who came up to him after winning the state championship? Brooke Davis. It was Brooke, and it would always be Brooke, in my opinion. She was always there for when his goals came up to be. Whether romance or friendship, they were always good together and everything. And I like to take a quote from Star Trek. Don't worry, I have and shall always be your friend. And that's how I felt for Brooke and Lucas. Whether they were a romance couple or not, they were good as friends and everything else. Kind of, if you take the CW of Stefan and Caroline or Klaus and Caroline, they were good somewhat as some stuff with romance, but they were good as friends as well. Where for Peyton, as I've said before, with her and Josie Saltzman, both characters kind of stay stagnant. They don't improve as characters. They keep the same personality that they once had in the show and stuff. Whereas you can take the other side where Brooke wanted to change her image away from that slutty party girl and stuff, and same with Nathan being a jerk and improved. They had both the biggest character growth in One Tree Hill and in the show writing it and stuff. Same with saying that about like Lizzie Saltzman in CW, Legacies and stuff, to compare it and contrast two different shows. Lizzie became a better person towards the end after becoming a heretic, just like her mom being a vampire, but also becoming a better person, whereas Josie did not. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on all of that. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay radical.